And so I think we'll get started here with the recording has started. People acknowledge that that is up and they are aware of this, the meeting being recorded. Welcome everyone to our new school year. I hope everyone has had a very restful break. Lots of visiting with families and friends and the like. But first, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathering again, coming together on the shared territory of the Snawas and Qualicum First Nations, and we thank them for their stewardship of these lands where we live, work, and play. Couple of extra, or one new face for some. Katie Marin, our new district principal, Indigenous Education. Welcome, Katie. We'll get your title figured out there soon. And then we used to be able to do this in the forum, and now we, do things by teams that we could walk around and say hi to everybody and say, hi, how was your summer, Matt? And hi, how your summer was, Jessica, and things like that. And Heather Deering is here as our cutie PBPA rep, which is as an honor for each of them to take their turn to attend our meetings, and we thank them for coming to the board meetings. The board is collected. We have our secretary treasurer, so we are good to go according to all our bylaws and everything. And so I would ask trustees for a mover and a seconder for the adoption of our agenda as presented. So moved trustee Kurland, seconded trustee Kellogg. All those in favor? Thank you, trustees. With a question from trustee Young? No, you raised hands. So maybe this will be something that'll help me. Let's just raise hands when we're voting as trustees rather than do the raise hand function, because it sort of draws me to the notion that there's a question or a comment, but we'll see how it goes if you choose to do different. A mover and a seconder, please, for the approval of the consent agenda as presented this evening, August 29th. So moved trustee Young, seconded trustee Kellogg. All those in favor? And there's hands up from everybody. Thank you, trustees. There is no delegations, no business arising. Welcome back to our president of the Mount Arrowsmith Teachers Association, and I'll call on Matt Wood for his comments this evening as we kick off a new school year.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Yeah, as you can see, I'm still kind of in summer mode. I can't believe it's the end of August. It felt like July just finished about 2 weeks ago. Just bring a couple things to light. Is the Labor Day is on Monday coming up this weekend. I know we all celebrate that day, and most people are off not thinking about the labor movement, but it's a pretty special day for the labor movement. It's a time to reflect on the gains workers have made, the sacrifices, extreme sacrifices that many workers in history have made to gain workers' improvements on the job site. So we aren't planning anything here at in Parksville, but there is a big session at the Transfer Beach in Ladysmith. It occurs every year, and if you've never gone, I do encourage you, especially if you have young children. There's bouncy castles and there's all sorts of things that are for folks to celebrate that day in labor history. Other than that, Mount Arrowsmith again is looking forward to working with the board and the senior administration with doing what's best for the working conditions and of children and teachers. As we know, what's good for teachers is also good for students when it comes to a classroom environment. Yeah, and so I look forward to further discussions this year. And I'm in my third year in this role, and so I feel ready to get going. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. Yep, year 3. You can't claim anymore that you're new to this. You've been around the track a couple of times. Thank you. And I don't see anyone from CUPE this evening. And I'm not sure, Jessica, if you are giving a report on behalf of DPAC tonight. And Jessica.
I'm on if you can you see me? I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, there. Oh, there she is. How could we miss you?
Yay. Just another screen. Yes, welcome back from DPAC. We have no update because we haven't had our first meeting yet. You guys did get the invite today, though we will be having our meetings again on the same days, Wednesdays, the third Wednesday of every month. So we'll get those started and then we'll get on back to our updates as well. But welcome back, everyone.
Great. Wonderful to see you, Carrie and Jessica, too. And yes, we'll look forward to an exciting new year for all the great things that you guys put on for our parents and caregivers in the district. It's wonderful. No questions, period. There's no action items. We'll move now to Mr. Terpstra with his board authority authorized course on RCMP Youth Academy Studies 12. Mr. Terpstra, would you like to provide some remarks to your papers that are attached in everyone's agenda, pages 14 to 21? We lost Mr. Terpstra. He was here.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Sorry.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. There he is. That's okay. It's all new.
All right. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I tried to put on my headphones. So every year we have a few students that participate in the RCMP camp. And as we did this summer, I believe we had 4 students. And of course, in everything, we want to give them credit where credit's due. And so the opportunity with the fire camp doesn't fit, or sorry, with the RCMP camp doesn't fit as a work experience as well. And also it gives them a specific credit and also a credential that they can show others when they're applying for jobs or looking in post-secondary options. As everyone on the board's aware that we need approval from the board to bring any board authorized. So all credit for this course goes to Cowichan Schools, but we are respectfully requesting that the board approve this course so we can enroll our students in it in the future.
Thanks, Mr. Terpstra. I think, I stand to be corrected, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen a BA course under all the new frameworks of big ideas and learning and evaluation and things like that. It looks really cool. I enjoyed reading it, and as you know, all of the bits and pieces and parts and attributes of the course and the experiences they get. Trustee Austin has a question.
Thank you. Thank you, and I apologize if the sound isn't great. I don't know. I'll be working on that.
It must be your computer.
Pardon?
It must be your computer then.
Yeah, I'll have to spend time working on that. It'll be hard to know if I don't have not somebody on the other end. But anyway, as long as you can hear me. So I just have 3 questions. And the first one is, this is a good time to refresh all of us on what makes this an academy as opposed to, you know, a program or course or something. And then my next one will be, how did this come about? Is there a teacher in the district that's keen on this kind of thing, or what was the driving force behind this? And then my third question is, it looks very full and very detailed, and I'm sure I think they also mentioned in the Cowichan documentation that it comes, a lot of it comes from the RCMP courses, learning places. But we certainly have an option as a district to sort of tweak it or change things a little bit, I assume, and maybe this has to be approved, I don't know, by the RCMP. But I'm just wondering, I didn't see a whole lot in there touching on mental health, the mental health within the force or that whole social work piece, which I do know the federal government and the RCMP are sort of working on in terms of tying in with the force. I just wondered if that would be something that we'd also maybe explore adding to this course. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So this is only an academy by name. It's not an academy, and as far as our policy goes, it's simply just a course. So yeah, not to be confused. It's because it's called that because of police academy. It's a mini student police academy. So yeah, don't be confused that it's not falling under policy. It's a summer course. We don't. It is entirely put on by the RCMP. And it's a joint venture. I think this year it happened in Port Alberni. Sometimes it happens in Cowichan, sometimes it happens in Nanaimo. And so our students get the opportunity to join it. As far as our involvement is, our career education staff, in this case, Darren Carmichael, he is a 12-month employee, so he would make some contact and do the assessments on it. But yeah, students enroll and with their parents' permission entirely in this camp academy experience as an introduction to jobs in policing. Did I miss? Yeah, so
No,
the
tweaking.
reason we wouldn't tweak it because it's just reflecting what the students are taught by the RCMP.
Okay, thank you.
Superintendent Jory, Dr. Jory.
Yeah, thank you. Just to piggyback on what Director Terpstra was saying is that this does not reflect the ministerial regulation on what is an academy. And if we were to create an academy, it would certainly be my preference that we follow that regulation and that whatever we were producing reflects it. But to his point, bodies outside of the school district can refer to themselves as academies and often do. So it's just what they're calling it. Where recruit candidates go is called academy, and so this experience they felt was something they should call academy, and so they did. And so to get the name right, we've included it there as it's been deemed. Hope that answers the question.
Thanks, Dr. Jory. See no further hands up. So I would move that the Board of Education, School District 69, approve the Board Authority authorized course RCMP Youth Academy Studies 12. Could I have a seconder, please? Seconder, Trustee Kellogg. Are there any further questions, trustees? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And I've lost Trustee Young on my screen. Have we lost Trustee Young?
They see
Nope,
her
I'm
hand up.
here. I'm voting in favor, so I don't know why you
Okay,
didn't see
now
me.
there's your camera on now. Yeah, it's on now. Okay, in favor, thank you very much. Carried. Next item on our agenda is the revised, and folks will draw your attention to the notion that this is a revised, because I would think we remember we've done this before, minor capital plan submission for 2023, 2024. And just to not steal too much of Mr. Amos's thunder, the bolded in the letter in your attachments of pages 22 to 26, school food infrastructure program and the roofing between Winchelsea and Bowser and between Mr. Amos and our Director of Ops and Maintenance, Mr. Monroe. They can clarify how and why this took place. And if you look at the date of the letter, it's August 17th. So this is all new news.
Thunder stolen.
Sorry.
And yeah, so to your point, this was previously, the submission was approved back in March, if you recall. We got a letter at that point with with much the same language in terms of the 6 projects that are on there, I think it is. This is really just a revised based on the fact that we have needed to reprioritize Bowser roofing, and so we sought and received approval, if you want, to divert funds from Winchelsea to Bowser. We'll keep 30,000 back for planning purposes, but the idea being we're moving the money into Bowser, which is a priority item. And then the board basically just needs to revise the budget or revise the bylaw as noted in the motion. So part 1 is accept the recommended revision, and then part 2 are the 3 readings plus the unanimous approval in the first part of the reading. So I'll hand it back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Amos. Okay. First off, then, I would move that the Board of Education School District, Qualicum School District, accept the recommended revisions to the 2023-2024 minor capital plan as submitted to the ministry. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Trustee Kurland. All those in favor? Carried. Now, and in accordance with, and we made a little hiccup in this, in the June of this year, the 3 readings. We must approve unanimously the 3 readings of the bylaws, and in this case, 3 readings of the capital plan bylaw. CPSD 69-02 at this regular meeting of August 29th. So moved by myself. Seconder, please, trustees. Seconded Trustee Young. All those in favor? Thank you. That was unanimous approval by all trustees to have all 3 readings conducted this evening. So first reading, I would give first reading to adopt the school district Qualicum capital plan bylaw number 2324 CPSD 69-024 at its regular board meeting of August 29, 2023. Seconder, please. Thank you, Trustee Kellogg. I'll call a question. All those in favor, trustees? Thank you very much. And for second reading to adopt school district Qualicum capital plan bylaw number 2324 CPSD 69-02 at its regular meeting of August 29, 2023. So moved by myself, seconded trustees. Thank you, Trustee Austin. All those in favor? Thank you. And for a third and final reading, I move that the board adopt capital project bylaw 2023-2024 CPSD 69-02 at its regular board meeting of August 29. Seconder, please. Thank you, Trustee Young. All those in favor? Carried. Looks good, and I look forward. I think we sort of briefly heard that school infrastructure program monies. Hopefully, we'll be doing some purchases for our Feeding Futures program as time moves on. Item 12, information items. Dr. Jory, superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, Chair Flynn. Greetings, everyone. Esquel. I hope everyone had a safe and relaxing summer here in the Oceanside community, and that your friends and family members across the province and continent are coping with all the difficulties caused by this terrible fire season. It's good to be back, and as much as I enjoyed my break, the first one in 4 years without coursework hanging over my head, I can tell you that I'm not quite ready to retire. As per my message during last year's Ministry Day, Agent Smith was right. We all need a purpose. And it would appear that I need to work on my puttering skills. In solidarity with all the parents out there who are happy to see the new school year approaching, stands my wife, who is more than happy to have her house back. Some highlights from the Ministry of Education and Childcare. The mandate continues without much change, giving districts a chance to go deeper into the work that is expected of us. Equity and well-being lead the list. The Family Affordability Fund that we received last year at this time has been reformed and rebranded as Feeding Futures, and our spending will be focused on providing food for students rather than having the fund divided between food, field trips, and supplies. We can, however, use a portion for staffing and equipment like refrigerators, which will help us immensely to use our resources effectively and efficiently and get food to the students. Providing childcare on school grounds is another key piece. And ministry has set a goal of reaching 59% coverage across the province, up from its current level of about 9%. As you all know, this need has been recognized by our Board of Education for many years, and we are proud to say that most of our elementary schools already have childcare on school grounds, with the remainders having it available nearby. And we have plans to expand on-site opportunities across the district so that families will have the access that they need and deserve. It was also encouraging to hear their commitment to tackling the challenges of licensing, which is full of this thing called bureaucratic red tape that can tie up our decision makers with extra task completion. So that was welcome news. Truth and reconciliation remains a focus as well. And we welcome our new District Principal of Indigenous Education, Ms. Katie Marin. Hello, Katie, who will support and extend the great work we've been doing in the Qualicum School District to build a positive and welcoming culture, leading to meaningful graduation. We look forward to hosting more equity scan sessions this year and to growing the profile of Indigenous student leadership as we continue to improve outcomes for our Indigenous learners. At the August startup meeting with the Ministry of Education and Childcare, we also heard of the work going to build and upgrade school sites around the province. Improvements to technological infrastructure, how they're supporting our rural colleagues with their recruitment challenges. These items may not impact our district in the same manner, as we have been fortunate in many ways and possibly need a little less help than other districts might. On that note, we will continue to try to support NISCA and others with their challenges, although we have not actually placed any Qualicum teachers in a rural district as of yet. Other updates were shared in regard to student wellness and the learning agenda, which I will let Director Terpstra and Associate Superintendent Wilson address when it is their turn. In regard to what is upcoming in our school district this year, I can cite Teams adoption and reduced use of website and portal, although sorting through the 59-page sitemap may be an unexpected challenge, as well as a continued rollout and expanded use of EdPlan Insight. We will continue to try and work on our replacement costs and power consumption, as these two items have mushroomed and over recent years and put some significant financial pressure upon us. And of course, we'll be rolling out and operationalizing our new district strategic plan. This means a new brochure, which is almost ready, more communications, lots and lots of work with staff to grow understanding, to develop common vernacular around the plan and what it means to our system. This will also mean more conversations with students as we continue to expand our understanding of their needs and just how we can make graduation more meaningful to more of them. As well, we will be developing more plans from the plan, starting with tech and assessment, and do further work with our principals and vice principals on our school plans and our take on the attributes of leadership. This is big, fun stuff, people, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, I've had all-day meetings or travel days for 10 of the last 12 working days. That's not very good planning, I know. So I haven't been out to the schools yet, but the operations slideshow on work completion received unprecedented applause from our principal and vice principal team. So it looks like we'll be more than ready for the students next week. I'll leave that to Director Monroe to fill in the blanks for us. We are excited about the year ahead. Hesepkut, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tory. Trustees, any further questions or insight on some of the highlights? We're just getting going. Very exciting. And as everyone can see, some of us have our new logo as our backdrop. And it's very, very exciting next steps for us. Provincial update and update starts was Dr. Jory, and we'll move to educational program updates and Director Terpstra and Associate Superintendent Ms. Wilson. Who's going to start first this time? Rudy, you're on mute, or something went wrong.
Here. All right. So just a couple things, just to make people aware that we know learning happens all year long, even for kids that aren't enrolled in courses. But we did have our career ed department fully active this summer. Students experiencing work experience, and we also have a summer work work program led by teacher Martin Jedlick. So those students were not only getting training and certifications, but also work experience in chosen fields this summer. And I've already mentioned our police RCMP camp. Happy to let people know that this week already teachers have been learning with our teaching and learning team and the areas of spaces and assessment, play, phonological awareness, and in the next couple of days we have also special sessions on learning progression. So we're excited that people are taking up on that learning. And also there's lots and lots of activity around the schools, teachers preparing their classrooms, preparing their lessons, and getting ready for the new school year. And the last thing I'm going to report on before passing it over, as everyone knows, we have a new reporting order that came into effect on July 1st this year. That, you know, our district was part of a pilot project that led to this policy, and also it wasn't a big change in our practice, but with the amazing skill of Sherry Brown, we were able to create a document that brings in both the ministry reporting order, practice in School District 69, and just in a nice package, which I'll show you. Just a quick highlight here. You can see that. Eve, can you see that? Because you're the only person I can see on screen. Good. Okay, so yeah, it's assessment and communicating student learning. We have a nice table of contents. Really just, this is the ministry, and the ministry's actually created amazing links. So we just hyperlinked all their information, including for parents, and we'll be sharing this out through schools, parents, communicating student learning, a parent and caregiver package. We have a really straight calendar of what's happening each month in the avenues of communicating student learning and assessment practice. And then just some ministry, or big addition this year is goal setting and core competency reflection, defining that, supporting schools with doing that. And then each K to 7, and on the next page 8 to 12 really has just a guideline of our 5 reporting sessions. What does a parent conference look like in the spring and fall? What does a written learning update and a summary learning update? And of course our grad requirements is you know, we are also communicating an update to our students and our families each year as part of the new policy. And so anyway, that shout out to Sherry Brown for making my document look amazing. And I think we're getting to realize that we're going to have some great documents like this coming up in the future. And that's all I have to report. I'll turn it over to Miss Wilson unless there's any questions.
Well, that document, particularly the reporting order, condensed and highlighted for anyone to read, is an excellent document. Dr. Jory, and then we can move to Ms. Wilson.
I just want to add my support for the document and just say our brochure game is
up.
is coming along nicely.
Sorry, didn't mean to steal your telepathy. Ms. Wilson.
Thank you. Just to follow up on some of the ministry priorities that they shared with us this year, and we're in a good space to be aligned with those because many of them are the things that the district is working on. Wellness is a key one for not only staff and making sure we're recruiting and retention of employees, and we know people want to come and work in our district. The other one is around mental health and wellness with our youth and our students. Some sad news they shared with us. The CDC did release their report at the same time we were at our learning session and talked about, they use the word overdose. It's commonly known, more people choose to use the word drug poisoning because it is what's in the drugs that students are taking that's poisonous to them, is now the #1 killer for the 15 to 17-year-old age group. It used to be suicide and vehicle accidents, and drug overdose or poisoning is now the #1 killer for youth. So we have some drug education that we need to make sure that we're doing within our system, so students know what they're choosing to do and not do, and making sure they're understanding the harm of that. Also need to make sure that we're sharing what more healthy strategies are in terms of coping with stress and things that they're working through. We are well poised for that. We have a good relationship with our community agencies. We have a good relationship with Island Health, and we can make sure that we've got those kind of supports in our schools. The other area that was really interesting for me was student voice. And if you recall, we were part of the YDI 2 years ago. We're doing that assessment again, or that survey with students, and we're going to continue with that really active student voice group and work and ask them what we can do to support. We're also in the relationship with UBC, where we're piloting the health app for our youth. And so we worked with them at the end of last year, where there is an app for our youth where they can connect and get supports and things like that. So more to come on that. The other area was technology and AI, and what AI means to our students. So it's a world that I've got the huge learning curve about. It was really fascinating that the person who introduced one of our keynote speakers went to AI to ask them to write their introductory speech about that person, and he read it. So it's quite phenomenal in terms of what you can get out of artificial intelligence, and we need to make sure we're supporting our teachers, our educators, in terms of how are we asking our students to work with that. So more to come on that. In terms of the other one I wanted to mention was the childcare. Really pleased that we did get the license to expand our Errington Elementary School after school care, and Sheila Morrison, who's taking the lead on that, worked with the licensing officer this summer actually, and was able to get that one finalized. And the after school care up at Bowser Elementary School, the license was approved up there. So we are well on our way, as Superintendent Jory said, about our programs that we've got to support families. In terms of locally, registration is our priority, and it's that number, looking to see where our numbers are falling in. This is the first week that our schools were officially open for walk-ins and people that have moved to our community. I know that speaking to all the elementary principals today, everybody's had some. We also looked at our cross boundaries today in terms of whether we could approve any additional cross boundary requests. We always keep our cross boundaries on hold, probably up until September 30th, because we don't know what we don't know as the first few weeks of school come upon us. We know lots of people who are coming in, but sometimes we don't hear of the people that are leaving our school district right away. We do have some families that I know got the disappointing phone call today to say that their cross-boundary request is still on hold because the school needs to be able to support any students that walk into their catchment area, and they didn't feel comfortable being able to, either there wasn't that space, they weren't able to reconfigure, or they're going back and looking at reconfiguring, but we do have some families that are on hold for cross-boundary at the moment. Our principals and vice principal are working really hard on the staffing, the timetabling, the scheduling, all those kinds of things that they do to make sure that when staff arrive, and many staffs are already walking into school buildings looking to see if they can set up their classrooms, and seeing how amazing our schools do look. Our kindergarten students are on a gradual entry. All of our kindergartens will be there full-time by the 13th of September. We do this to be able to support students coming in smaller groups and get to know the lay of the land in terms of where things are. And so it's nice to be able to do that. And so our students they all will be there full-time by the 13th. All of our elementary schools are all doing some kind of connecting start. I don't want to say reconnecting, but it is connecting of some sort. We have many staff changeovers in some of our elementary schools, and so going back to the teacher you had last year is not always the thing that can happen, but they are connecting in some way. So they're not going to their homeroom or the classroom that they're going to have for the year on the first or second day. They are connecting to their school, and there's some activities that are supporting a lot around core competencies and learning about their school culture in all of our elementary schools, so that we can see whom our students are and they can get to know each other as a school community, not just a classroom community. Want to also acknowledge the work that was done over the summer to move our district resource center. It was not a small task. We moved four out of 4 portables into 2 classrooms and an extra classroom meeting space, as well as some office space. It looks absolutely phenomenal. We can take great pride in looking at the resources that we have as a school district, and it looks more appealing to go in there and walk about and see what there is to be able to take to your classroom and sign out. I can't say enough about the work that operations and maintenance has done. I've been to several schools over the last week and a half, and every time I walk in, it looks amazing. The painting that's been done is like a breath of fresh air to see. It just brightens everywhere up. Was in Bolinas today, and even that front foyer that always seems somewhat dark, there's a fresh coat of painting there. The trims were being done around the door, and my goodness, what great work our team has done. So really want to complement the work of our operations and maintenance department. Everything is looking amazing. And that's it for now.
Trustee Young, you have a question.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions and then maybe an information thing. A number of years ago, we bought naloxone kits, and when we bought them, we hoped that they would gather dust in our schools. And I just wonder if they are gathering dust or if we've had to use them. I guess that's my first question. I've actually been waiting for this for things to shift around this, because we know that the toxic drugs crisis is impacting a lot of people. So maybe I'll kind of start there, and then if you wouldn't mind answering, and then I've got a couple of other questions as well.
Unfortunately, we have had students that we're not sure what's happened to them. We've had sought medical attention for students, and again, not sure what has or hasn't happened, so I can't really respond to that. I can respond to the naloxone. We still have naloxone kits in our schools. They are updated, and we do update training too. We did update training last spring with our appropriate people who want to be part of that training. And it was facilitated through a combination of our social worker and Discovery, who came in through Island Health, and to be able to make sure that we had that training, and we have naloxone kits that are up to date and not expired.
Yeah, thank you for that. The information item, there's an overdose, it's called overdose awareness. I actually wish it weren't, but noon to 4 at Parksville Park on Thursday. And there will be Sandra Allison, our medical health officer person, will be speaking, and there will be demonstrations of naloxone, how to use naloxone kits there, as well as some other resources. I'm wondering if you have any information on the initial pressure that we're experiencing and what schools we might be experiencing pressure in at this point. It might be too early and you might not want to share that, but I was just wondering. And my other comment is, in my walks this summer, of course, you folks know I walk all over the place. I have been by the DRC a number of times because it's on one of my major walking routes, and have repeatedly heard how fabulous the new facility is at Winchelsea. And so I do want to just echo what you've said in terms of what I've seen of how things are looking and how well that seemed to go, because I could imagine that it might have gone in a different way. So thank you. And my question is, can you tell me about initial pressures?
Through the chair, I think the question that we need to ask ourselves is, how are we ensuring that we're giving strategies, supporting strategies for students to deal with things when they feel stress, worry, anxiety, and they don't choose a route of self-medication. that's a conversation I think we need to have around how do we
Yes.
support when things are not going well for you? What strategies do you have that can provide you that support rather than choosing to go the route of experimentation? And then it leads to feeling that that's their only way of being able to cope. And so those are the conversations that we have with our counselors, or the conversations that we have with our community supports. Those are conversations that we have with students at the youth, the YDI. They want to know more about mental health and wellness. And so that's a focus, and that's an area that we're making sure that we continue to work down.
And do you know about initial pressure on schools in terms of population and where we're starting to get schools
Enrollment.
full?
Enrollment.
Enrollment.
Oh,
The
enrollment. Sorry, I
question.
thought you were talking about, sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood your
No, and I
question.
agree with you. We need to do more prevention on this side and more resiliency protection forces and such. Yeah.
In terms of the enrollment at this point, things are going as we projected. I was a little bit concerned about not meeting our projections for kindergarten, and I looked today and that's looking better. We're still a couple under, but a couple under is within our projections. So it's not, I don't see any pressures. It's where we anticipated Oceanside may need another classroom. We anticipated that. And the English side of it. The other areas are all within where we expected at this point.
Thanks, Ms. Wilson. Seeing no further hands up, we'll turn this over now to Director of Operations and Maintenance, Mr. Monroe, and the summer projects update, of which I've been in this couple of schools. Everything's gleaming. There's been a fabulous video, rounds of applause. I'm sure everything didn't get done that you wanted to get done, but over to you to give us the summer projects update. Mr. Monroe.
Thank you, Chair Flynn. And thanks, Gillian, there for the kind words and some of the kind words from many of you on how beautiful the schools are looking. We were very aggressive in our work plan this summer. I think I said back in June that we were going to bite off more than we could chew and then see how we could do, but some of it was going to bleed into the school year, but we were going to try to pick the least disruptive work that could go into the school year. Some of that is the HVAC units on top of the Bolinas roof. It's a major capital project, but anything that was impactful, and I do want to mention that the PVP have been super flexible and helpful in allowing us to work around some of the instructional time where possible, and that's allowed us to be really aggressive. The slideshow that Peter mentions, I took the last 2 weeks off, and some of my team helped with sharing that information, and we really tried to capture photos this year to sort of at least paint a little bit of a picture for the PVP, so people could see what was happening across the whole district rather than just in their sites, and then they could share that slide deck with their teachers at their staff meetings. I'm not going to bore you with all those slides. However, I have tried to pick off a high level. I mean, there was a lot of slides there, but I picked off a high level and got it down to about 12 where I can just get through and some things that just paint the picture for people to see what happened, and I'll talk through it a little bit as well.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll try and share my screen here.
This is all new. It's all new. No worries.
Please tell me if this is coming
Mike,
through.
you're good. You're good. Before and after Bolinas Secondary. Slide number 1.
Yeah, so just to start with, this is a non-pretty stuff, and I've been quite vocal on saying there's a lot of things that happen behind the walls that keep our staff safe, keep the students safe, and keep all the staff in the school safe. And this is one of them. It's part of the roofing project at Bolinas with the HVAC upgrade, and the roofing project is all the stormwater drains that run through the roof cavity are all asbestos, and so some of the asbestos abatement has happened throughout the summer for some of the drains in the Bolinas. But we continue to do asbestos abatement periodically throughout the school district. This one's there for Brant from a safety-focused point of view. A lot of these HVAC units on KSS and BSS, there has been no safety guard railings around the HVAC unit, so our staff work on them, could easily fall back off the roof. So we've gone across the district and put in safety rails where we need to, close to the edge of the roofs. This is the Bowser roofing project, the gymnasium roof that's being replaced. So we reallocated the funds from Winchelsea. Ministry was very, very helpful in helping us do this. We had some water leaks at Bowser, and that is in progress and wrapping up shortly. Errington, we have some high cleaning that has to get done. There's some before and after shots of how dirty it is up on the light ballasts, and so we did that at Errington this summer. Here's the entrance to Bolinas that
Oh my gosh!
Gillian was talking about, and so we're putting the final touches on that as we speak. If people remember, there was a mural there, and it's very dark underneath the entrance. So working with the PVP there, they'll get some signage and some murals done, but it'll be on hanging pictures that we can easily remove when we want to refresh painting. But it's a welcome change at Bolinas, that's for sure. KSS got a bit of a facelift on the walls as well. We had to, the entrance is really nice at KSS at the moment, so we got over there and did a fresh coat of paint at the entrance there as well. There's a gym floor replacement at KSS, so you can see the old parkour floor there on the left where we were having some issues with, and the new gym floor there on the right. Big job, took all of summer, but thankfully that is now completed. This is the classroom addition at Oceanside, taking out that roller door there and adding in an exterior door, and that'll be ready to go for startup of school next week. This is a flooring replacement at the library at Springwood. You can see the old carpet.
Wow.
The librarian very, very happy and looking forward to not having allergies from the carpet when she comes back to work. She was letting me know how that was affecting her. So we're doing this across the district, lots of flooring replacements periodically across the district, but that was a big one. This job was quite large. If people remember at QBES, we had 3 sections of playground that had been added on over time, and there were 3 different borders, and it was all pea gravel that was causing compact and not a safe place for the children. This job went for 5 or 6 weeks. Lots of the community came out and were quite impressed, to the point where PQB News will probably be running a piece on this in the local paper here. So that was a nice job to get that done. What we did differently this summer, and it was my first full summer because I joined in May last year, but we reinvigorated the summer works crew, and that's really the 10-month employees, EAs, bus drivers, and we got them working throughout the summer. We had 14 people taking some time off here and there, but they were working most of the summer, and they were doing a lot of the beautification. They were painting the bus curbs, they were doing a lot of the trimming, the weed whacking, and painting a lot of these old rusted handrails across the district to give the site some curb appeal, and you can see them in action there. So I really want to give a shout out to how great it was to have them on board. A couple of other things worth noting from an environmental point of view. We did lighting upgrades at Arrowview, Oceanside, and we upgraded the DDC, which controls all of our HVAC, at 7 sites across the district. All in all, very, very successful works program. From a playground point of view, Arrowview is getting a new playground. That's been delayed just from some of the supplies, and we've already removed the playground there. That's going to be coming in the middle of September. With that, there'll be another basketball hoop getting erected there at Arrowview, and Bowser will get 2 of those basketball hoops as well. So that's bleeding into September. One other thing that is worth noting on the project side of it is we installed CCTV at Nanoose Bay. The PAC had approved it. That's exterior CCTV. We had some vandalism at Nanoose over the last year. Now, I don't know what's changed, whether the kids moved location or the CCTV deterrent actually worked, but we thankfully had no, touch wood, vandalism at Nanoose. However, Errington started to see some vandalism in the last couple of weeks. We had a couple of break-ins at a couple of sites that we had to deal with throughout the summer. And what we're going to be doing is getting the PVP to reach out to the PACs at each of the schools, in the elementary schools, and seek approval to get CCTVs put in on the exterior of all the sites of all the elementary schools. So the principals will be talking to the PACs about that. And lastly, what I think is worth talking about is just how we're set up from a busing point of view, going into the new school year. So if I can just unshare my screen. There. So we changed the way we did the busing pass applications this year. We did them 3 months earlier than we had last year. We average around 2,000. I think it's between 1,800 and 2,000 bus pass riders. And by August 1st last year was when we first started processing the applications. By August 1st this year, we had already processed 1,600 of the 2,000. So more than 3/4 of our bus pass applications to parents already have been processed before we'd even started at the same time last year. We sent out one final reminder in mid-August and received another 270. So I think we're at about 1,870 before the school year starts. And there's some exciting things happening in the busing department with the new routing software, the new digital iPads going into the buses that are going to have turn-by-turn instructions, and also it's going to allow the parents to be able to actually get an app and track when their children are swiped on the bus. So all good things happening there, and we've actually been on an aggressive recruitment over the last little while, and we have pretty good numbers. You know, we have a lot of spare bus drivers going into the school year, and we'll be doing some other initiatives as the school year starts. So we're in a good position across the board, and that is it for me. Oh, lastly, I just want to say thank you to my staff. More importantly, it's the Brants, the Mikes, and all the staff, all the maintenance team, the custodials. The work that they did this summer was just it was very something to be proud of. I keep getting accolades, but if you see them around, I really want the staff to get the accolades, not me. That's it.
Oh, very, very encouraging and exciting. And we can't do everything. Can't do everything all the time. I know those things. Some things, as you say, bleed into the school year and things like that. But it's been very impressive and heartwarming. And congratulations. And yes, please do extend our thanks. And if you're having a year-end barbecue with your crew or anything else, I'd be more than happy to come up and say thanks to everybody. It's just been very heartwarming from a number of venues that have seen the big Brant slideshow versus the little Brant, the shorter version.
Yeah.
And it's just very uplifting for sure. I saw Elaine, I think I saw your hand up, but maybe not. And are there any questions of our Director of Operations and Maintenance for summer works of 2023? Just lots of hands clapping. I don't know how everyone's found that one, but I'm going to do raise hands. I might find it, but I don't want to do it now because I might lose everybody and the whole meeting will end. Okay, wonderful. Thanks very much, Mr. Arnold. That's great. Finance and Ops Committee of the Whole coming up on a video conference channel near you, Monday, September the 18th. Policy also Monday, September the 18th, respectively chaired at this point by Trustee Youngs and Trustee Kellogg, and then Education Committee of the Whole on September 19th. I do not see any trustee items or unfinished business or correspondence, so I will move to public question period. We have a slim public, but I don't see any questions from the public at this point. So this evening is also the evening that we conduct our elections for the chair and vice chair of the board for the following year. And so we will close out this meeting formally with an adjournment, but then we will open up under the leadership of our Secretary Treasurer, Mr. Amos, to conduct the board elections for the 2023-2024 school year. So could I have a mover to adjourn tonight's meeting? Trustees? Move to adjourn. Thank you, Trustee Kellogg. I guess we all stay tuned, and I'll stand back from being chair, and your agenda is also attached to your package this evening, and we'll move into the trustee election of chair and vice chair. Mr. Amos.
Thank you, Trustee Flynn. Okay, so absolutely, we're just going to carry on with a special board meeting. We've got the agenda that has been shared already. And as you know, just by bylaw 2 of the board bylaw 2, the chairperson and vice chairperson are elected for a 1-year term commencing September 1st. And the election is to be held again per the bylaw. The election shall be held at the regular board meeting in August. And so the only thing on this agenda is potentially is the elections. And I guess I should say, I'll call the meeting to order. I will be chairing it as indicated, and then we'll get right into the elections. One thing again for the public to understand, and we've gone over with the board, that by having it in electronically, we're doing it. The voting normally is done by paper ballots, and the nominations are done by paper. We're going to be doing it electronically. So I've given them my email and my text. So we're going to be voting via text and doing the nominations by text. And so we've got that all organized. And so we'll just go right into the election for chair.
So you mean you're not going to come out here and collect my ballot like you do at the AGM?
Straight. Well, actually, there's going to be a knock on your door, and we'll send Amazon out to get them or something. So I'll just go right into the elections. Bear with me as I start reading texts as they come in, but I will call for nominations by electronic ballot for chairperson of the board. Please, send them in as they come. Okay, this is going to be. So I'm hoping I've heard from everyone. So this is good to see. So we've got one nomination for chair, and it is Eve Flynn. So first of all, I'll ask Eve if she's willing to stand for chair for another year.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yes, you are. And absolutely, the unanimity is true to this also. I don't need to say anything more. Thank you, Eve Flynn. She is basically acclaimed as the chairperson for another year. So thank you very much, Eve, and thank you very much, trustees, for putting your trust in her for another year.
Yes. Yes.
And I motion to destroy electronic nominations. I'll just put that out there.
Motion, trustees, to destroy. Thank you, trustee Kellogg, seconded by trustee Austin. All in favor? Carried. I guess in the way the format moves, I call for, and I thank everybody for their support. It's very heartwarming. Thank you for supporting me in this role. I kind of like it. The call for nominations then is our first order of business on item 3. Trustees, would you then text to Mr. Amos your nomination for vice chair of the district?
Waiting for one more. This is a little like me running around and collecting the ballots. We need some music about now.
A great elevator music. Da, da, da. Then we could do Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. Okay, so there are 2 names that have been proposed. So first one, Elaine Young, trustee Elaine Young, would you accept the nomination for vice chair?
I think she's
Yes.
nodded. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have nominations for Julie Austin to stand as vice chair. Do you accept the nomination, Julie?
In the spirit of democracy, sure.
Okay. So there you go. Chair.
Okay, trustees, the next phase then is to do a text vote for a trustee Austin or trustee Young. And I think to keep things clear, for our secretary treasurer, you say vote and then the name. I think that's how we articulated it. Vote and then the name of your candidate.
So just for folks, I've texted the chair the winner, and then she can announce it.
Okay, by the ballots that have been submitted by everyone, trustee Austin has been elected as the vice chair of the board. Congratulations, trustee Austin. And thank you, trustee Young, for standing and putting your name forward again. It's always an extra challenge and a different place to find yourself. And so I appreciate your past year of work with us. And then we are a small board, so this is kind of hard. This is kind of the way sometimes these things go. And so trustee Austin, you've been in these shoes before. Welcome aboard again. And congratulations. And now a motion to destroy the electronic ballots. A mover, please, trustee Kellogg, seconded, trustee Young. All those in favor? Carried. So for our final business of the meeting this evening is our banking resolution that must be approved. And I would move that the chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary treasurer, and assistant secretary treasurer for the Board of Education, Qualicum School District, be authorized to sign banking resolutions in accordance of bylaw 4 banking. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, trustee Kurland. Call a question. All those in favor? Carried. As per our practice, folks know that we have many outside committees and liaison schools, and at this point, I ask usually trustees to think about this, of how they'd like to, what committees they like to stay with, if they'd like to move, what they want to have as liaison schools. I think in sort of some of this, in our second year of a new term, we continue with our liaison schools, but there may be some folks that wish to change various committees, and if they can apprise me of that, then we will have a discussion, or at least a synopsis presented at our September meeting. Trustee Young, you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I thought we were going to go through this tonight, but I would like to I would like to say a couple of things. The what's called the Oceanside Community Track Renewal Committee, I don't know that is going to be meeting much in the future. I think we're kind of done.
Okay.
So that one might come off the list. I don't know. You'd have to check with Mr. Amos and Director of Instruction Terpstra, but I'm kind of hunching that there's not much more to do there. And the Oceanside Health and Wellness Network actually has amalgamated with a network in Nanaimo, and they will be doing community meetings, so they don't need somebody on the equivalent of their board anymore from us until they actually ask us. But basically as members of the community, we all will be apprised of when those meetings come forward. So I just wanted to make those notes from my side. So those ones might want to come off. And then DPAC, we should probably have DPAC on the list. And the other comment I wanted to make was just that I'm kind of noticing that I'm losing track of things, possibly because not everybody is reporting on their meetings, or some reportings are coming orally or something. Anyway, I feel I'm losing track of some stuff. So if people could just be attentive to making sure that those reports come in, it would be much appreciated. And I think that's all.
Yeah, well, those are
I
good
need to
points
say.
about the health and wellness and track committee. That's good to know. The DPAC list came out today, and I think as we've done in the past, we shared it around, and everybody signed up for attending on behalf of the board to 1 or 2 over the year, basically. And so I think that is the work we have always done through September to then finalize it and make a presentation for approval, or not approval, just information in our September board meeting. But if people have specific interests or otherwise there are things that they want to change, I challenge the group to think that if you want to have a different liaison school, we have, a new board and new people, and maybe to have another year at your same liaison schools would not be, a bad idea. But I leave that to the group of us to ponder, and then we can finalize the list for our September meeting as to members of outside committees and representative appointments and things like that. So if folks will either get to me separately by email of some of your thoughts or ideas, then that would be great. And then we can condense things and maybe have an informal discussion at some point in September to finalize the list for presentation.
So the DPAC meeting happens before that. Is there somebody that has a will to go to that DPAC meeting?
Third Wednesday in September. Who wants to do the first one?
I can do it.
Okay, Carol, thank you very much. And then the rest, I'll ask for Karen's assistance to circulate a tick the box as to who wants to attend where. It fits for their schedules over the rest of the year, because the list did come out today, thanks to Carrie. So thank you very much, everyone. We're off to a new year. I see Dr. Jory. Further comments?
Yeah, just first public meeting on Teams. Thank you to Leslie for your support and patience with us yesterday, and thanks to everybody for getting to know the platform a little bit. I think it went very well. Almost no implementation dip whatsoever. Well done.
I wonder if that squelching noise though can get rid of Trustee Austin's. You talked about the guy who crunched up the potato chip bag. Maybe Trustee Austin can, because we thought she had the fan on too high at home, and now she's at the office in a different place.
No,
Headset might work.
I'm in
For
my
She's at the
office.
board office.
And I've searched it, and I've gone to support, and I've clicked all the right little boxes on and off, and
It is
so I will
weird.
just play around with it, and when I'm in a different environment, I'll test it with somebody too.
Well, Leslie, you can hear it. You can hear the difference between when she's muted and not. So, but other than that, well done, everybody.
Maybe it's the fan in the bathroom in the background.
Could I have a mover and a seconder, please, to adjourn the special board meeting? Thank you, Trustee Kellogg. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your evenings, and we'll be all back on deck next week in our shiny, shiny new schools. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.